Welcome back to Ozarks Tonight. You may remember the story of Judy Henderson, a Springfield woman who spent 35 years in prison. And in 2017, then Missouri Governor Eric Greitens commuted her sentence and pardoned Henderson. She was convicted of capital murder and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for 50 years. The charges stemmed from a robbery in 1982 where Henderson's boyfriend at the time shot and killed a man. Both were charged with murder, but only Henderson was found guilty in the case. Now that she's out of prison, Henderson is working to help other incarcerated women through the clemency process and transitioning after prison. She is working with the National Council for Incarcerated Women and Girls, whose mission is to end incarceration for the groups. Judy Henderson is now joining us to talk to us about her work and share with us a little bit of her story. Judy, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here, Jennifer.
So let's talk a little bit about, since you have been out of prison since 2017 when you were pardoned. What was that like for you when you first heard this is going through and you're getting out?
Well, actually, I did not know this was going through and I was getting out until I walked in the visiting room that day. So it was a total surprise.
It's been almost 2 years, about a year and a half that you have been out. What has that time been like?
Oh, very busy. Your world, the technology out here is unbelievable.
What about with your family?
Oh my gosh, my family. Seeing my daughter and my son as adults outside of a prison setting. Because in the prison setting on visits, you just sit at a chair and you talk, but you don't really see them interact as adults. So whenever I came home and saw my daughter as a mother and a wife and a friend to her adult friends, I was in awe. You know, it was one of those moments that I just broke down in tears because I was so proud of the person and the mother and the wife that she had become.
Because when you went to prison, she was 13, but even throughout those 36 years, she was visiting you every year, every Mother's Day.
Yes, she did. And so to see her in this capacity, being such a wonderful human being in so many different areas, those have been some of the most proudest moments since I've been home.
Tell me about your role now, your work now.
I became a member of the National Council in October of 2018, whenever they asked me to speak at one of their conferences. Then in, I guess, January, I got a call that they wanted to reach out to the states and start doing a national clemency campaign, re-imaging communities on the state level. For those of us that are on the ground actually doing the work. Then we got started with the different phases of how we were going to conduct this campaign.
So this campaign is pushing for clemency for those who are 65 or older or have some kind of medical condition?
Yes. Any kind of disparity of sentencing where they could not present mitigating circumstances at the trial, because years ago, there was evidence that could not be presented at trials that can now be presented. So therefore, the women aren't getting as harsh sentences and as long of sentences as they were back then. So we want to try to correct that. We want to, this is all about prison reform right now, criminal justice reform. So we want to show that, you know, these women have been forgotten. A lot of our women in prisons across the nation have been forgotten. And we want to bring a light to this issue and let everybody know that these women can be your mother, your sister, your aunt, your grandmother, your next door neighbor. These are not the hardcore criminal women that you might have pictured in your mind. A lot of these women are very educated, but a lot of these women are very battered and abused. They have low self-esteem. They were mixed up or present whenever a crime occurred. They're co-defendants because they are much wiser in the judicial system and know how it works. The majority of them, women just got mixed up with the wrong individual, with the wrong boyfriend, or married the wrong husband. and didn't find out till it was too late.
Now, Judy, some people at home might be watching and thinking maybe they are not bad people, they're not bad women that we should be afraid of, but they still put themselves in a situation where that they shouldn't have, or made a bad decision at one point. Shouldn't they still pay for a crime they committed or a crime they were involved in somehow, or for that bad decision they made at one point?
I think we all have to pay for bad decisions that we make. So I'm not saying let's give them a get out of jail free card. You know, I'm saying that the time that they've served should be sufficient. You know, whenever we're talking 20, 15, 20, 30 years out of a woman's life and those children that are there without a mother, I think society needs to rethink. You know, are you warehousing these people? Are you warehousing these women? Or are you rehabilitating them?
Now, the Reimagining Communities Through Clemency campaign, phase 1 was collecting the names of these women who were incarcerated, who you would like to apply for clemency for. Phase 2 now requires some involvement from the community. What are you asking for now? What is phase 2?
We're doing a postcard blitz, a postcard campaign, to where we want everyone from May 1st to July 31st to send one postcard a week in to Governor Parsons at the Capitol, urging him to use his power of clemency and urging his parole board, for those that are going to be able to see the parole board, to be able to be released.
Now, in addition to this campaign, there's also HB 352, which would allow individuals over 65 who were sentenced to life in prison for a minimum of 50 years to receive a parole hearing after 30 years. That's another piece of legislation you're pushing for.
So many of the elderly in prison, they're abused by other offenders. They are taken advantage of. Their medical care is not good. Their health is not good. What good is it to keep these people in prison? What good is it for taxpayers to pay money for these individuals that are not a threat to society? Other states around the United States have such legislation to where they do have a law that releases the elderly. Why doesn't Missouri? Again, criminal justice reform in Missouri.
If people are interested in finding out more, can they go to the National Council website?
Absolutely.
Judy, thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
You're welcome. Thank you, Jennifer.
We'll be right back with more right here on Ozarks Fox.